Hello, my people. Welcome to another day of stories. It is also a cowboyish Australian leather hat with crocodile teeth on it type day as well. Do you ever have those days? I'm having one right now. Yep, time for a story. Let's roll. Today's story is not about this hat, although I could tell you a story about this hat. It has to do with signs on the road. I have seen some really weird road signs in my day. When I lived in Oklahoma, there was one that said, "Do not drive into the smoke," which begged the question, who in the world was driving into the smoke? I feel as though the only reason we make signs or warning labels is because somebody was stupid enough to go do that. And then when you talk to them about it, you're like, "Why'd you do that?" They're like, "Well, I didn't know I wasn't supposed to." I mean, McDonald's should not have to put on their coffee cup that the contents inside are hot, and yet somebody spilled it on themselves and then they got to sue McDonald's. That makes no sense at all. It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. But now McDonald's has to write that on the cup. Anyways, if you're in Oklahoma, don't drive into the smoke, okay? Just heads up, in case that was something you wanted to do. This week, I went back to Salt Lake on a work trip, and it was almost work trip number 2. Oh my goodness. We stayed in the same hotel, and I got room 210, literally right next door to Pandora's box. This box was an ice box, and it was perfect. The air conditioning worked fantastically, so much so that I had to grab blankets, extra blankets, and put them on me and just snuggle in warm. I enjoy being in pre-hypothermia and then going to sleep. It just feels natural. And so the room was fantastic. I didn't have any issues with that. But when I was driving home, came across a road sign, and I'll be honest, it really threw me. I'm driving the freeway, we're talking, having a great time, and there's a sign, a big orange sign with black letters on it on the road. It wasn't a permanent sign, it was a temp sign, and it hadn't worked long enough to get a full-time job being a sign, and so it's just there and it's held down by sandbags and it's whatever. But in the biggest letters, it says, "Safety alert." Well, if your intention was to get my attention, mission accomplished, sign maker. The next line of the sign says, "Stay alive." I felt in that moment that perhaps a mite more of context would have been helpful. I don't know that people get in cars and question whether or not that's the goal in travel. I feel like that's always the goal. That's priority number 1 in just like human. All humans, that's the main goal. Stay alive. So to say that we needed a safety alert to tell us that felt really odd. And we're talking about how odd that is as we're driving down the road and we come across another sign. This too is a temp sign, but a little higher up in the echelon of signdom. It's an LED sign that they can type in whatever they want. They can type in whatever they want. And it says, "Drive like your life depends on it." I looked back to see if there was a dragon that was following me, because why would you tell someone to drive like their life depended on it? I imagine, after thinking about this a little bit, that it has something to do with like cell phones and not texting or something. There's a big difference between, hey, don't text while you're driving, bro. Drive like your life depends on it. I increased speed. I don't think that was the intention, but now I'm terrified. What obscene evil patrols this road searching for those they can destroy? Stay alive and drive like your life depends on it are not the messages that are normally delivered to operators of motor vehicles. That's just not what we're driving for another 10 minutes, and finally some context comes into the scenario, and it says occasional, not guaranteed, not often, not regular, just occasional blinding dust storms. Use caution. Okay, I felt like that one should have been first, you know? That should have been the first message that was delivered. Hey everybody, there could be a dust storm, you won't be able to see in it, and that is terrifying because you can't go, but if you stop, someone's gonna hit you, you can't pull over, that's dangerous. So I completely understand why that is important. I feel as though someone in the upper echelons in the great state of Utah needs to have a little sit-down pep talk with whoever the creator of signage is, and maybe talk to them about the message we're trying to go with and the way we disseminate that information, because it could have been, careful, there's dust storms. We want you to stay alive. Remember, dust storms. Drive like your life depends on it because there's dust storms. But here's my main problem with this whole thing. There was no ceasefire sign. There was nothing to say, hey, you're out of the woods. The whole way home, I'm just wondering if there's all of a sudden I'm just going to be engulfed, like in The Mummy, where you just sandstorm just engulfed me. I have no idea. We needed a everything is chill, Go back to just normally staying alive as you would, okay? Like you do, just okay. But it never came. I have no idea. If you are traveling northbound from Salt Lake City, please take a picture, because I was so dumbfounded by what I was reading and thrown off by the fact that I was needing to drive as though my life was in danger. I didn't get my camera out and think, hey, I should take a picture of this for everybody so I can tell the story. I just was so taken back by what was going on. Leave me a comment with the craziest road sign you have ever seen. Have a fantastic week. I'll see you next Friday, and as always, keep telling stories.